Uh, okay, I have just checked that the meeting has started being recorded, so I guess I can move on and I can start with the event. Can you give me green light, please, guys, for this? And yeah, I'm gonna take that as a yes. I'm gonna just wait one little minute just to make sure that we can go ahead. Okay, so yeah, I got definitely green light to start the event. So good afternoon to everyone, and thank you very much for joining us in this event that we are celebrating in the RES4CITY project in the RES4CITY project. Welcome to this event. Where we are going to be reviewing the main guidelines, the main lines of action that RES4CITY is focused on, in this case, always focused on the green transition. And where we'll be also reviewing how European funding can boost green transition, and also we'll have some Latin American representative who are going to give us also some hints about the green transition in their area. First of all, I'm going to give you a little overview of the event we're going to host this afternoon. Me, myself, who's going to be moderating the event is John Narrachea, Communication Officer at the FINOA Foundation and Communication Officer of this project of RES4CITY project. And after this little presentation, we will have, first of all, David McLaughlin, who is the RES4CITY project leader, who's going to be explaining us the project's main lines of action in the academic terms. Then it will be myself who will be introducing the RES4CITY Startup Europe Accelerator initiative, which is more focused in the industry and in the boost of ideas that foster the green transition in cities. Afterwards, we will have Juan Manuel Revuelta, CEO of the FINOVA Foundation, who is going to be also giving us some hints about how EU funding can boost this green transition. And as said earlier, we will end up this event hosting a bunch of representatives of Colombian mayors who are going to be shedding us some lights on how this phenomenon is being developed, sorry, in their municipalities in Colombia. So before I officially start, I would like to thank all the attendees, both in person and also in our YouTube channel, in the Finova YouTube channel. And also for sure, a big thank you to the organization of Green Cities and S Moving Fair in Malaga, who has let us having this little spot where we're gonna basically explain which is our daily work in the RES4CITY project. So right now I'm gonna give the word. I'm gonna ask Mr. David McLaughlin to take the floor to explain us a bit in which consists this RES4CITY project. For you to remind, Mr. McLaughlin is the leader of RES4CITY and is also here as a representative of Maynooth University, this Irish entity who is also the leader of RES4CITY. So, David, you can for sure share your screen. We are all ears. Go ahead, and we are ready to hear you.
John, good afternoon, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to everybody. I will indeed share my screen if you give me one moment. So hopefully you can now see my slides on screen. That's good with you, John, is it?
We can see it. Yeah.
There, that's good. Okay, I'm going to make this full screen as well. So let's do that and let's see if that works. Okay, so let me start by just giving a very brief overview of what RES4CITY is, or the raison d'etre, the reason why this project exists is, as it says on screen, its main objective is to upskill students and members of the workforce to drive the green transition. Now, as an introduction to myself, as John mentioned, I'm the project manager for the project that is RES4CITY, and I'm from Maynooth University, which is a university here in Ireland. In terms of project background, the EU, as it is in many countries, if not all countries of the world, knows that it's an absolute imperative that we drive as quickly as possible to the implementation of renewable energy, sustainable fuels, and that we have sustainable development in more general terms. And that, in particular in the European Union, is to meet what we call the Green Deal target to become climate neutral by just next year now, by 2025. However, it's all well and good to have such targets as such, but unless you have the people skilled to implement the policies and actionable tasks to meet those targets, if you don't have those skilled professionals, then it becomes an extremely difficult thing to do. And we here in the EU, as much as it is the case globally, we have a lack of skilled professionals in everything related to renewables, sustainability, the green economy, and so on. And that's really slowing down the transition to a green economy. So we as a consortia, and RES4CITY is a consortia of 18 partners in 80 EU countries plus Switzerland, we've developed what we've called an innovative educational framework based upon micro programs and micro credentials to really support the deployment of renewable energy systems and fuel technologies as efficiently and as quickly as possible. So we've developed these courses as online courses, and I'll show you those now in a few moments, to try and accelerate the speed at which we can upskill as many people as possible or reskill as many people as possible in this whole area. The project is funded by 2.5 million from the European Commission plus from the Swiss Confederation. It's a 3-year project. It started in October 2022, so it's just shy of 2 years running at the moment, and it's to run for 1 more year. These here in the box are the 18 different partners. You can see Maynooth University, we are the logo in the top left. We've got 3 universities in Italy. We've got universities in Sweden, in France, in Spain. So we've got multiple different academic organizations, but we've also got some commercial organizations as well. Just one to call out as well, and let me see if my little tool works here, is UNITAR here. UNITAR is, as many of you know, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. So the United Nations is a key contributor and a key consortium member of this project. So we're not only doing this from the perspective of the European Union, but we're also leveraging our relationship and UNITAR as a member of the consortia to expand our horizons beyond the European Union as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as well later on in relation to what we're doing in South Korea. So very briefly, there's 5 key pillars to this project, and albeit I do accept that this is a little bit small on screen for many of you, but the top circle is probably one of the key or one of the most important outputs of what the project is, because that really is talking about the micro credentials or the educational framework that we're developing based upon micro credentials, which is the courses effectively that we've developed as part of RES4CITY. Now, in developing those, we have, as is outlined on the left-hand side, we've developed what we've called an innovation and stakeholder network. This is where we've engaged with parties in multiple different parts of Europe to ensure that what we're building in terms of educational courses in renewable energy align with what the market needs. As part of that, in the bottom left, we've mentioned of the Lighthouse case studies. We developed a whole series of case studies around renewable energy and fuel technologies and sustainability, looking at different aspects of those around Europe. We've then also built what we call an industry-academia partnership, again, to ensure we've got alignment of the needs in the market versus what we've actually developed. And then on the right-hand side, rather, we've got what we call the exploitation, dissemination, and outreach aspect of the project. And that really is the aspect of the project, which is, I suppose, today is an element of that, which is it's all well and good us creating this project, or developing as part of this project our micro programs and micro credentials to drive increased numbers of people to be re-educated or upskill in renewables. But as part of that, we need to make sure that there is acknowledgement, or that those courses are easily accessible, that people know about them. And that's really what I would call the marketing aspect of what we're talking about in this project. So as a very quick synopsis of what micro-credentials are, for those who aren't aware, this is the European Commission definition. So micro-credentials are recognized short-duration, competency-based learning opportunities that offer a flexible, targeted way to help people develop the knowledge, skills, and competencies they need for their personal and professional development. So in summary, really, they are courses that are relatively straightforward for learners to enroll in, taking typically about 15 hours a week over a series of weeks in order to attain a certificate in a given micro-credential. We, as part of this project, have developed an entirely new platform for the delivery of the content, and I'll give you a brief glimpse at that platform in a moment. But this is what it looks like in terms of the homepage of the platform. And this here are an outline of what the micro programs look like. So let me just show you that on screen here. So you can see here, or you should be able to see the homepage of the platform. So this is the platform, not quite launched yet, but close to it. So we have here where individuals can go and explore their micro programs or explore micro credentials. Micro programs are effectively 10 micro credentials. So taking one of the micro programs, in this case entitled Sustainable Energy Technologies and Strategies in an Urban Environment, included in that are the following 10 micro credentials. So those starting with fundamentals of energy systems down to the serious game here. And by simply clicking on enroll, you can enroll in that micro program. And then but you can also decide to complete one or a number of the micro credentials individually. So let me show you then here. This is what some of the details associated with one of the micro credentials looks like. You can see some of the context and overview. You can see here that it's estimated it will take 15 hours a week over 5 weeks. You've got the sections here on the right-hand side, and then you can see here that there is a final exam. And in this particular case, this particular micro credential was developed by Professor Shivam here in Maynooth University. Further here on the left-hand side, you can see the learning objectives in the background. And then just to give you a flavor here, this is what the learner sees when they go into each individual micro-credential. So there's various sections. It's made up of either video material, reading material, or exercises typically. So here you can see videos. You click on the video here and you watch the video. There's a second video here in 1.2, 1.3, and then over here in 1.4, there's reading material. And then in 1.5, you have an exercise to do as well. And then you can click through here and you can see the next parts of the course to be completed. So I'm going to come back here and just to comment on one other aspect of the of RES4CITY is the serious games. And these are really tools as part of RES4CITY to make it as engaging as possible for users to absorb the content that we're seeking to teach. And it is simulated real world scenarios is effectively what serious games are, to give the learner the sense that they're part of a real world scenario which allows them to absorb, like I say, the content or the learning material as efficiently and quickly as possible. So that's a key aspect of RES4CITY. And then finally, one of the things to call out is our collaboration with South Korea. So I mentioned earlier that we were looking beyond Europe as well. Interestingly, as part of the project over the last 2 years and through our relationship with UNITAR, we have discovered that a consortium of 7 Korean universities in South Korea are doing something remarkably similar to what we're doing in RES4CITY, in that they have developed a series of courses to seek to educate as many people in South Korea as possible in relation to renewables and sustainability and fuel technologies and so on. And we are now partnering with COS ourselves. RES4CITY and COS are partnering to develop a joint micro program together. So that's an interesting development from our perspective. So that's it. I think I took just over 10 minutes. I think that was my allocated time. And I'm just going to leave it at that unless there's any questions. John.
Yeah, we're gonna check if we got any questions both inside or in the chat. I'm gonna just wait some seconds, and meanwhile I'm gonna thank you, David, for your wonderful presentation and also your allocated time. So also perfect timing. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that the attendees now can have a better overview on the RES4CITY project in this academic part of the RES4CITY project and also in the project overall itself. So it seems that we have no questions in this case. So I think I'm gonna end up giving thank you once again, David, your participation here, and thank you for your time with us. And now is gonna be myself who is gonna be giving the attendees more hints about the RES4CITY project, but in this case, focusing more in the industry part of the project. So I'm just gonna start. Just if you give me 1 second, I will start sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, I think I'm having just a little problem, so I'm not able to share the screen. And I don't know why. Well, this is direct problems, I guess. Okay, just gonna try it in another way. I'm gonna check if it's possible. Okay, I think I'm gonna be able to do it through the Finder itself. So I'm just gonna search for the PPT here. Sorry for this very last problem, but it will just be solved in a couple of seconds. And voila. Okay, I think that you are all able to watch my screen. So now I'm just going to give you a set another point of view of the RES4CITY project, but in this case, focused more in the academic part, as it is marked in the name itself of my presentation, as we are also supporting ideas for the green transition. I'm going to be talking in behalf of the project and as the coordinator of this initiative called RES4CITY Startup Europe Acceleraton. Here you have a little index, a little resume where you are going to be able to see which aspects I'm going to be covering, and I'm going to start explaining you which is the origin of the Acceleraton of this competition. That it was launched by Finova in 2020, and it combines hackathons with their Startup Europe Awards and Startup Europe Accelerator programs. In this case, it has its origins from our involvement in the EU versus Virus hackathon, as they leverage their expertise in European funding programs and extensive network to host successful accelerathons. We've held many other accelerathons also, such as the Accelerathon IBACE Water Startup Europe Awards, the Silifo Accelerathon, RES4CITY Accelerathon, and Waste to Energy Accelerathon. Here is where the origin is, and we, of course, started applying it in this project, in the RES4CITY project. So, for those who has never have a thought on this initiative, this is a Finova-driven methodology that aims to accelerate ideas in the circular that are focused in the circular economy sector by leveraging an online competition model featuring training, mentorship, and afterwards a jury eventually evaluate these ideas, and we will have this accelerathon a winner who will win an European acceleration ticket prize. That basically means that we'll have the chance to present again with Finova their idea to see if is eligible to get European funding to bring it into the reality. This competition is marked in the Startup Europe Awards initiative that is DigiConnect initiative related by Finova and institutionally supported by the European Parliament, the Committee of the Regions, and the Economic and Social Committee since 2016. As I explained, the RES4CITY Startup Europe Accelerathon is focused on accelerating ideas and concepts related to the clean energies in cities and ideas which integrate circularity. The key motto of this Accelerathon is basically to be presented as a service to promote the empowerment of our participants and the development of their academia industry open innovation partnership to make good research and innovation projects, as well as participating to project their proposals to bring them to reality through EU funding. Here you have a little roadmap of the Accelerathon, because now you already, which is the idea, but here you have a little timeline so you can maybe have a better overview. This is a competition that has almost lasted for a whole year. We started back in November 2023, promoting the registration in this competition and starting making the teams that would be part of this Accelerathon. The competition itself lasted for 3 months during the second semester of 2024. And on July, we had the semi-final where we selected 4 ideas that are going to be making it in the final that we are hosting in 2 weeks here in Brussels. I will give a little more of information about it right now. And as mentioned, the big winner of this competition will collaborate with Finova to start investigating, to start applying for different grants of proposals to bring into, to take this idea into reality through this EU funding. The competition itself, just to also you can check the magnitude of the competition. We've hosted 17 teams. We've had more than 55 participants through the whole world. We have participants from 11 countries and 4 continents, which shows the importance of the project in a worldwide level. And right now, as mentioned earlier, we are going to be hosting in Brussels in 2 weeks, in October 8th, the big final of this RES4CITY Startup Europe Accelerathon. We are going to host this event marked in the European Week of Regions and Cities, week that is boosted by the European Commission and the European Committee of the Regions. Now I'm going to just present you really briefly the 4 finalists. The first team is called ILAB City 5.0. They are coming from Spain, and their idea is focused in the electric mobility. In this case, they are focusing in the bicycle area. Then we have the second finalist, which they are coming from Colombia, and they are the Huaque Maloca team. In this case, their idea is focused on the soil management. Then the third finalist is the Hybrid team. They are coming from Portugal, and their idea is focused on the green hydrogen production. And last but not least, we have the Blue Drops team, another Spanish team that in this case is gonna be is focused on the revalorization of gray water. Also, just to give you more hints about this competition, because sometimes it seems that the winner takes it all and that the participants sometimes maybe don't profit it that much, but in this case, it's nothing far from reality, because actually all our participants have been profiting these advantages from participating in the RES4CITY Startup Europe Acceleration competition. Now, well, they have been part, and they are now part of this dynamic ecosystem that fosters circular economy innovation. They are also developing solutions that maybe they didn't have a fit right now in this competition, but for sure they can still apply for further competitions, and we have been also inviting them for further competitions. Then also they have gained a great position in the RES4CITY project, and they are part of our community that is letting them having worldwide contacts. And in the finalist case, as I have just showed, we are presenting their ideas and presenting themselves in different fairs that we are attending. And the best example is this very last presentation where I have just mentioned them. So this has been everything by my side. There you have my contact details in case you want to know more about both RES4CITY or RES4CITY Startup Europe Acceleration Initiative. And right now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna give the word to the CEO of Finova, to Mr. Juan Manuel Revuelta, who is gonna be explaining us different ways that in which the EU is boosting the green transition in terms of funding. So, Mr. Revuelta, the floor is yours. We are all ears.
Okay, good afternoon from Malaga, from the International Fair of Green Cities and Smoothing, that is of mobility. And here in this hybrid event, we have a delegation of mayors from Colombia. Colombia is the host country in 2024 about COP16, what is city development from with a biodiversity challenge in that development, sustainable development. Anyway, I'm going to try to share we have prepared a presentation. 1 second. And the idea, I will try to inspire all of you. We have here in the, okay, is here. We have in this meeting room around 20 people physically here in Malaga, but we have around another, if I'm not wrong, Danny, another 35 that are in Zoom. I don't know how many are following us through YouTube. No, they are correcting me. There are around 70 in Zoom. Okay, that means we are more than 100 following this important session of this important challenge, RES4CITY. Decarbonization is a main issue. When we see these challenges of the problems of ola de calor, heat waves, all this, that it means every year casualties. It means the problem of contamination in the earth. It means a lot of challenges that we have in the cities, not only in Malaga or in Brussels or in Valencia, but also in Colombia. Anyway, what we would like is to inspire to you in that we are in the right momentum. Now, European Commission, the new European Commission has just started. Then we have from a political point of view, the next 5 years from the European Commission means, again, we'll be starting the triangle cooperation for Colombia. What about Euroclima? RES4CITY is a pilot project, is a project for in the field of mitigation of climate change and fighting climate change. What is the 13th objective of United Nations? And we are talking of some funding opportunities. Again, this program has been financed from Horizon Europe. We are talking of 1.9 billion euros of Horizon, and we have other new programs like this one. Okay. What Finova is? Finova is a private foundation. We have delegations in Santiago de Chile, but also in Argentina, in LATAM, but in Madrid. Our headquarters is in Brussels, and also we have offices in Valencia, Sevilla, and antennas in Madrid, Alicante, and Canary Islands. It's what I was explaining to you about the billions euros, and the 3 pillars of the Horizon Europe. Okay. Allow me to explain that we have from now around 1 year for the LIFE program. The LIFE program means around 5,400 million euros for pilot projects in these 4 sub-program projects: nature and biodiversity, and I'm pretty sure, Jaime, we could learn from the European Union projects to go to Latin America through Al Invest Verde. We have the circular economy and quality of life. As Finova, we have ongoing 4 LIFE projects at the moment. In the field of climate action area, we have the climate change mitigation and adaptation and transition to clean energy. About Interreg is the interregional cooperation program that is managed from the DG Regio. There are different decentralized secretariats of Interreg. For example, we have the Interreg Portugal, Spain. We have the Interreg Europe. We have Interreg MAC, Madeira, Azores, Canarias. Now is open the Interreg Atlantic. That will be the Info Day in Bordeaux, Burdeos, Interreg Sudor, and we could follow with around 36. And is 36 secretaries, 36 countries. That is not only the 27 European Union countries, but Albania, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Moldova, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Norway, Serbia, Switzerland, and Ukraine. We have prepared here, John has prepared here, some of the bullet points that is linked to RES4CITY projects: energy efficiency, renewable energy, smart energy systems, climate change, water management, circular economy, nature and biodiversity, and zero carbon urban mobility. If we are in Interreg, we are talking of projects from let's say from 1 million up to 3 million euros project. And we have the Green Erasmus. We have the Erasmus program. We have the BET program. I would like that we could work together, based in the RES4CITYs. Why not to exchange ideas for the common challenge in the cities of Colombia, Medellin, Bogota, in Cali. Cali will host COP16. Bogota is also a city with a lot of challenges and contamination. We have this delegation of 15 Colombian mayors and civil servants from the province of Cundinamarca and Antioquia. And of course, they have come here to Green Cities International Fair to learn and to networking. We will have some experience now from two mayors that we have here. Okay. And about Erasmus, allow me to explain that we start small projects from 30,000 euros up to 400,000. Okay. And we can include partners from Latin America, from Colombia. Okay. About Finova, we are working more than 12 years in European Union funding projects. We like to train people. We host every year young people to try to work together, learning by doing in real projects. And okay, about Alinvest Verde, we are very proud because we have 4 ongoing projects in Alinvest Verde in the field of sustainability. We are talking of how to prevent the waste in the export and management of fruits in Chile, also in agrotourism, and also circular economy in the coffee production in Peru, in Colombia. And we are working a lot in the challenge of sustainable fashion, all what is about textile waste management. And okay, we are organizing that inter-regional cooperation, means from Europe to Latin America. In this case, we are talking with our partners from a cluster of sustainable fashion in Peru, but also in the Chamber of Commerce of Bogota. That's my email. Don't hesitate to contact us. We will be here in Malaga up to the end. That will be tomorrow lunchtime after the award ceremony of the Green Cities and Moving Startup Europe Awards. Thank you very much, John. John is in Brussels, and here we are in Malaga. And thank you very much for your time. John, the floor is yours.
Perfect, Juanma. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm sure that the attendees have now a better overview of how the European Union is boosting the green transition through the different funding programs they have. And we had also a little overview on how this European Union Latin America connection is working. So right now, as the last panel of the event, we are going to host some representatives from different Colombian municipalities who are going to explain us some of the main activities that they are carrying out in their areas and how they are applying the green transition. This panel is going to be composed by 4 people, and we are going to host Alexander Bravo, Mayor from Utica, Cundinamarca, Santiago Daza, Mayor of San Carlos, Antioquia, Juan David Casas, Mayor of Bello, Antioquia, and also Jaime Almanza, the General Director of Funda GEDESCOL. So guys, the floor is yours, and we are ready to hear it. Just a little reminder that this part of the event is going to be in Spanish.
desde la visión de Colombia?
Bueno, nosotros en el municipio de Bello venimos avanzando en varios instrumentos de planificación que hoy son claves. El paso más importante es la construcción y consolidación de una estructura ecológica que nos permita, sobre todo, hacer un proceso de recuperación, por un lado, de nuestras fuentes hídricas, por otro lado, de nuestro suelo, que ha sido afectado, digámoslo así, en dos elementos importantes. Uno, en la explotación minera de algunas partes del suelo, y la segunda, en un desarrollo informal que se ha venido dando en varias zonas importantes del municipio. Desde ahí se han implementado varios programas, ¿cierto? El pago por servicios ambientales, un sistema local de áreas protegidas ha sido clave, y ahora que vamos a comenzar la actualización general del plan de ordenamiento territorial, que nos permite avanzar por un lado en protección de algunos suelos y por el otro lado en la habilitación de algunos suelos para desarrollo urbano, pero con elementos y con programas importantes, sobre todo en materia de protección ambiental. Una de las estrategias hoy claves en el municipio ha sido el nombramiento de un área protegida urbana, que ha sido clave sobre todo en la zona centro de la ciudad, y yo creo que desde ahí seguir avanzando, sobre todo en planificaciones a mediano plazo, que nos permita fortalecer la protección ambiental de la ciudad.
¿Cuántos habitantes tiene Bello?
Eh,
Y destaque un solo, único problema en cambio climático.
Bueno, nosotros somos un municipio que tiene hoy cerca de 750.000, 800.000 habitantes aproximadamente. Nuestro suelo es un suelo, casi el 20% es urbano, el 80% es rural, pero con una alta densificación. Y uno de los retos, casi el 90% de la población está en el suelo urbano. Esa densificación pues ha generado una degradación importante de nuestros recursos naturales y un calentamiento. La ciudad durante los últimos años ha aumentado 3 grados centígrados, que es una cantidad pues bastante alta, y desde ahí nos trae retos importantes. Hoy, sobre todo, nuestra actualización del plan de desarrollo girará en torno a construir herramientas que nos permitan desarrollar la ciudad de cara a nuestras fuentes hídricas, porque se ha desarrollado durante casi 150, 120 años más o menos de historia administrativa, de espaldas a nuestras fuentes hídricas, generando una alta contaminación, una alta degradación del suelo, y por lo tanto, pues hoy no tenemos garantías en un largo plazo de nuestros recursos naturales.
Okay. Juan David is explaining us that Bello is a municipality of 800,000 inhabitants that has the big challenge of in the last years, the temperature has increased more than 3 degrees, and they have high intensive population, density of population. And now we are going to move to our other partners here, other municipalities. Sí, Edu, podemos ver la pantalla donde estaban los cuatro. And we are going to, vamos a Útica. Tenemos el alcalde de Útica. Is a 6,000 inhabitants municipality. Y bueno, padre, ¿qué opinamos desde Útica? El reto de la descarbonización, la biodiversidad, el cambio climático.
Bueno, Útica es un municipio en su gran mayoría bosque seco tropical, bañado por un río que se llama el Río Negro y por la Quebrada Negra. Luego somos ricos en agua, pero tuvo que suceder una avalancha que cobró la vida de algunas personas en 1988 y, por supuesto, se repitió en el 2011 también con una destrucción parcial del municipio. Eso llevó a que el pueblo tomara más conciencia de la necesidad, por ejemplo, de la reforestación a las orillas del río y de la quebrada. Entonces, esa experiencia...
Excuse me. The mayor is explaining as a risk, they have a lot of water linked to a river, but now the challenge, the population has discovered the importance of to reforest, to fight against climate change. ¿Padre?
Sí, y hemos venido, ahorita estamos en un estudio de un nuevo EOT que va orientado precisamente a la conservación ambiental. El pueblo ha venido tomando conciencia de la necesidad que entre todos, tanto los que vivimos en el pueblo como los que viven en el campo, protejan las fuentes hídricas. Nosotros tenemos más de 42 nacimientos de agua en el municipio, son 15 veredas y 14 barrios. Lo repito, somos ricos en agua, pero tenemos que aprender a conservarla, a cuidar las riberas, a reforestar para que esa agua pues perdure en nuestro municipio. Y saber convivir con el riesgo es otra cosa que hemos tenido que afrontar siempre, y es que el riesgo es permanente. Estamos acostumbrados en el municipio a que en el tiempo de verano tenemos que hacer los esfuerzos grandes de llevar en carrotanques agua a las veredas, porque ninguna vereda del municipio tiene acueducto con agua potable. Y en invierno, el tema del arreglo de las carreteras y a veces el temor que produce el hecho del desbordamiento de la quebrada o del río.
What the mayor is explaining to us, they don't have a problem of access to water because they have 42 different sources of water. The problem is of interconnectivity of that water, that they it obliges them even to go with a truck with the water to guarantee the access to the water. And okay, thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias. Y nos vamos al último ponente. Puede presentarse y de qué municipio es.
Mi nombre es Santiago Daza, alcalde del municipio de San Carlos, Santiago.
Carlos. ¿Cuántos habitantes?
Aproximadamente 22.000, 23.000 habitantes.
¿Español o inglés?
Español.
Spanish. Okay. 23,000 inhabitants in San Carlos. Could you please explain to us what's the main challenge from the decarbonization and climate change? ¿Cuál sería el principal reto para San Carlos?
Bueno, San Carlos es un municipio riquísimo en aguas, más de 76 quebradas, más de 7 cuencas hidrográficas, y el principal reto climático es alrededor del agua podernos planificar. Una planeación alrededor del agua que nos permita crecer en turismo sostenible, que es una de las principales fuentes de economía del municipio. ¿Cómo hacemos que estos desarrollos turísticos conversen con el medio ambiente frente al saneamiento de las aguas, frente al saneamiento de las quebradas? Pero además de ello, ¿cómo hacemos la gestión precisamente de los residuos sólidos que se desprenden del turismo? Y cómo generamos precisamente programas y políticas de economía circular que nos permitan canalizar los residuos, todo esto que trae la actividad turística al municipio de San Carlos. Esto orientado a una planeación estratégica que hemos expuesto en nuestro esquema de ordenamiento territorial, que en este momento lo estamos reglamentando precisamente para que tengamos un municipio con ecodesarrollo que pueda generar políticas claras de sostenibilidad.
Okay. The San Carlos mayor is explaining us that they have water, of course, but the problem they have is a lack of planning of the city. They have a big challenge. That means the economy that comes from the tourism tourism, from the what is rural tourism, sport tourism, and then how to manage the water and the impact of that tourism. And also, it's linked with the organic waste management, or what they call there el relleno sanitario, los vertederos. How to manage better that water, that waste, if they are thinking, they are dreaming in a more sustainable tourism in the future. And that's the big challenge, not so different than the challenge we have in the rural tourism in Europe. And it's because of that they are here in green cities, being inspired from the RES4CITY project. And we are thinking, why not, in submitting a proposal under Alinvest Verde with other regions, with other partners from other regions, that could be Chile or Argentina, but also, why not, we could be working, thinking in that the next call, Euroclima, that we assume will be the Euroclima 2 or the Euroclima 3, to work in that field of water urban planning. Okay, that's the concept. Okay, John, perhaps it's time for question and answers. Quizás es tiempo de preguntas y respuestas. Here in the meeting room, we are in Málaga, in the International Fair, or perhaps through internet. John, are you managing have we some questions?
Yeah, just give me one little second, Juan, because I'm gonna refresh our web stream to check if there are any questions in the chat. Well, we don't have any question, but actually we got a little comment from Anna Monroy, who is, I guess, is a citizen from Antioquia and who is celebrating that the mayor of Antioquia is making it here in this event. But more than that, we have no more questions in the chat, so I think we can close it. Juan Manuel, I don't know if you agree.
Sorry?
Yeah, I was just saying that we have no questions in the chat, so if you agree, Juanma, we can start closing up the event.
¿Alguna pregunta en la sala? ¿Queja? Some complaints? Thoughts? Ideas? Designs? Wish? No? Si no hay más preguntas. ¿Alguna pregunta de padre? ¿Alguna pregunta?
A mí me gustaría complementar que esa situación que tenemos en Útica la hemos convertido en reto, y también esa dificultad y ese problema de la quebrada y del río que comenté se ha convertido en la mayor fuente de ingreso del municipio. O sea, cómo no ver solamente el problema, sino cómo podemos convertirlo en un reto y también en un medio que le lleve al municipio a producir riqueza. ¿Por qué? Porque nuestra quebrada, la quebrada negra de la que yo hablo, tiene una riqueza muy grande de minerales, lo que hace que la gente de otros pueblos vayan al municipio a bañarse en esa quebrada y le atribuyen inclusive beneficios medicinales para el tema de los huesos. Constantemente la gente va y ese es una fuente de turismo también para el municipio. Y en el río, el tema de los deportes extremos. En este momento, el turismo produce más de 300 empleos directos, sin contar los indirectos, y más de 100.000 turistas al año que nos visitan, precisamente porque hemos convertido esa situación que fue un problema en una oportunidad de crecimiento económico para el municipio. Por eso necesitamos, de ahí la conciencia de reforestar esas fuentes hídricas, de conservarlas, de cuidarlas y de saber vivir con el riesgo.
Okay, what we have is the perspective of a 6,000 inhabitants municipality that has transformed the missing water in also an economy, because they are receiving more than 100,000 tourists every year. Can you imagine? A town of 6,000 receiving 100,000. And okay, it's because of that they are working in how to reforest and how to look for new solutions in the field of water. At the end of the day, it's all that theory is about to reforest the cities with humans that has to increase these green cities with new trees that absorbs the CO2 and produce oxygen. Last minute question. If there is no more questions in the meeting room, en la sala, we are just in time, 6 o'clock. We have to start 5 minutes later. Dani, we are in 70, o ¿cuántos tenemos conectados, Dani? Okay, Eduardo, tell me that at the moment 100 people are just following us, but no questions, no complaints. Okay, if there is no complaints, no questions, no doubt.
Una pregunta.
Sí.
Bueno, un poco la reflexión inicial que se hacía con la presentación, cómo precisamente estos retos que tenemos en estos municipios colombianos, podemos generar precisamente la importancia de la cooperación internacional, cómo estos objetivos de desarrollo sostenible a partir de estas entidades internacionales tan importantes, y aprovechando que también nos están escuchando personas de nuestros municipios que están conectados, como un poco como Innova y las demás organizaciones, RES4CITY, junto con la Unión Europea, se pueden conectar en alianzas estratégicas con nosotros a poder llevar recursos que permitan esta lucha contra el cambio climático.
Una pregunta que es tan extensa como inteligente su alcalde. Entonces, he's asking about how that we are here with this common challenge. How could we work together to submit a proposal under EU funding? And the question is very easy. I'm pretty sure there are people following us from other municipalities. Here in the meeting room, we have not only people from Colombia, but from Europe. And we have in Innova an interesting network of cities of Europe, not only in Spain, but in Belgium and in Portugal. And my advice, Mayor, we can start to think in your municipality as a potential, San Carlos, as a potential living lab, laboratory of water and tourist sustainability, perhaps in a new Horizon Europe project. If the leader of RES4CITY, John, and also John, allow to us, we could share some best practice and nice experience. Estoy explicando, alcalde, que podemos colaborar con algún protocolo que les permite tener acceso al know-how, a los resultados, incluso a las microformaciones certificadas de RES4CITY que promueven energías renovables y eficiencia energética en ciudades. But for new projects, my advice is to prepare just 2 pages about what you have in mind, que prepare usted 2 folios de lo que tiene en su cabeza, papel y boli, with that, we could start working with Fundagedescol. We can work together in a new consortium that we could submit in Alinvest Verde, en Adelante 3, or or also, why not, if we are talking of vocational training, si hablamos de formación profesional continua, por ejemplo, a mí me encantaría que trabajáramos con algún tipo de solución de depuración por lagunaje, que es muy barata y muy eficiente, para formar a la gente en cómo depurar por lagunaje aguas residuales para tener una reutilización. I'm explaining why not. Let's work under the Erasmus program, vocational training. Why not in depuration water treatment plants? I'm talking of the dirty water without heavy metals and without let's say, big pollutants, chemical material. Hablo de las aguas residuales orgánicas que pueden venir de granja, de humanos. ¿Por qué no trabajar en depuración por lagunas? Trabajemos. This hybrid RES4CITY's seminar, webinar we are here pretends to start networking. Esto no es un webinario que termina y se acabó. What we pretend from this kind of actions is to exchange ideas and to create new consortium that works under these objectives of decarbonization. Alcalde. Bien. ¿Alguna otra pregunta, John? ¿Nos cierras ya? John es el jefe, ahí le ven con esa... Es que es de Navarra. John.
Sí, aquí estoy, Juanma, no estoy revisando los comentarios, pero no tenemos ninguna pregunta más. Por lo que, por mi parte, podemos ir cerrando la sesión. I was just saying that we got no more questions in the chat, nor in the not in person. So I think we are good to start closing up the event. I would like to thank all the attendees that has joined today with us in this event. We have explained the RES4CITY project. As Juanma said, this is not just a webinar. We are not ending this networking activity in this event. Pardon, Juanma?
Yes, if you don't mind, I would like to offer the closing words to the director of Fundaje de School, that is Mr. Jaime Almanza. ¿Vienes? A decir tus palabras finales, como who has coordinated this mission to London, Paris. They will go to visit you, John, in Brussels next week. They are so inspired by you that they have just booked the planes to go Brussels next week.
Thanks. Thanks, Juan Manuel. Thank you, John. Please, you translator, you need the time for the translator. I speak and you translator, please.
Sorry, I just lost a bit of connection. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay. Bueno, John, Colombia ha venido haciendo un gran esfuerzo desde hace muchísimos años porque lamentablemente hemos sido afectados por varias circunstancias que nos han llevado a un estado muy complicado en temas de deforestación, en temas de la minería ilegal, cambiando lechos de ríos, vertiendo mercurio a sus aguas. Y ahora la política del gobierno actual está dirigida a hacer una reestructuración o un cambio de todas las emisiones energéticas. Y es así como, en cierta forma, el presidente de la República ha tomado la iniciativa de ir reduciendo la producción de productos mineroenergéticos que son fósiles. La empresa colombiana de exploración petrolera, Ecopetrol, ha venido siendo afectada también por la reducción de sus ingresos por la participación en varios proyectos internacionales en donde se usaba el fracking. Eso ha generado y ha despertado una gran polémica, puesto que en países desarrollados como los países nórdicos, de los cuales siempre hacemos referencia. ¿Necesitas tiempo para traducir o
no? No se va a
no, tranquilo,
bueno.
Lo estoy apuntando todo y haré una pequeña intervención final con un resumen de lo que estoy diciendo. Tranquilo, puedes seguir.
Vale, esto ha generado una gran polémica, puesto que nosotros tenemos como referencia en el país los países nórdicos que han alcanzado un estado de bienestar muy importante. Pero se abre la discusión porque estos países son países ricos que se han enriquecido con base en la exploración petrolera, como todos sabemos, en las grandes plataformas del Mar del Norte, porque el tema de la deforestación es producto de una tendencia de las mafias a tumbar los bosques naturales, por un lado, para poder implantar allí hoja de coca, y por otro lado, para apropiarse de extensos terrenos. No ha sido fácil, pero Colombia ha estado sola en el ámbito internacional porque pues estas afectaciones, digamos que tienen que ver con una geopolítica internacional en donde, los gobiernos prácticamente en el exterior nos dan la espalda, en el sentido de que no le aportan a esa preservación. Sin embargo, hay comunidades, hay gobiernos locales que vienen haciendo apuestas importantes para, por un lado, preservar, para otro, combatir la minería ilegal, y como tercero, pues también, digamos, poder implementar unas políticas que le permita a esas personas que hacen uso irracional de esos recursos naturales, pues poder implementar algunas políticas que le permitan generarles recursos y que puedan convivir en esas situaciones complicadas. Eso era lo que quería anotar, un poco esa doble moral que existe en el mundo. Colombia necesita la atención, la descarbonización, digamos que viene siendo un hecho importante en el país. Somos el segundo país en biodiversidad en el mundo, por eso la importancia de que ahora podamos hacer la COP16 en Cali, en la ciudad de Cali, que se desarrollará en el mes de octubre. Es muy importante que las multinacionales que compran o que pagan por ese derecho al oxígeno fijen sus ojos en Colombia, pero que lo fijen de una forma regional, para que se beneficien realmente las regiones que más vienen siendo afectadas por estos fenómenos. Eso era lo que quería anotar, agradecerle inmensamente a todas las personas que están conectadas y por supuesto a los compañeros aquí en el auditorio. Muchas gracias.
John.
Yeah, Juanma, I'm gonna just really briefly translate everything that Mr. Almanza has explained us. Basically, he has given us a little overview of the situation of Colombia. He has tackled several issues that Colombia has been tackling in terms of environmental issues, as the use of fracking that has affected the petrol exploitation of the country, the deforestation of the forest that is ruled by the mafias, but also has shed some light on the good path that Colombia is taking in these issues. He has highlighted that some local governments and some regions are boosting a clear change towards the green transition in Colombia. And he has also mentioned that as a landmark of this process they are developing is the celebration of the United Nations Biodiversity Conference in Cali that will take place in the last week of October as a sign that finally the international community is putting its eyes, in Colombia and in the good job that they are starting doing.
Okay.
Muchísimas gracias, John. Y bueno,
Desde Málaga, thank you very much for all
desde
of
Málaga y Green Cities, un saludo muy especial a todos.
So after these words, we have reached to the end of the event. Thank you very much to all the attendees that have joined us today. Remember that you will have this webinar posted in the Finnova YouTube, and you can also follow us in all our social media to get updated on both Finnova and RES4CITY activities. Thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you.